Welcome to the 5th of October. You can see the record high, 91, set back in 1951, and the record low, very cold, 26, back in 1935. So we know it can be hot on October 5th, then it certainly can be cold. Here's our verifications. How are we doing on 3-degree guarantee? Well, since we've been doing it since July of last year, 83.1% of the time we get it correct. If it were a 4-degree guarantee, it would be 88.6% of the time we get it correct. And if it were a 5-degree forecast, there would be 91.7% of the times we get it right. So I don't think those numbers are going to improve much at all. In fact, that'll be about where they sit for the next 10 years. If this goes on for another 10 years, it might go up just a tad, but I kind of doubt it. We've kind of reached the limit of deterministic predictability with those numbers. Well, anyway, we'll move on and show you what's happening outside. Finally, the sun broke through. We had a lot of low-level clouds hanging around, and it seemed to, this massive cloud seemed to be centered on Marshall County, and it stretched out about 50 miles in all directions. And eventually it moved on out, and now we've got the beautiful weather. We are expecting some patchy, dense fog overnight tonight, but it won't be as extensive. A lot of this low-level moisture is going to be evaporated and moved away from our area with some drier air coming in. Well, there's your temperatures. We're up to 69 in Wheeling, 70 in Cambridge, 69 in Steubenville, 66 in New Martinsville, 68 in Washington, and 67 in Morgantown. Winds, well, they're generally kind of hard to say what the wind direction is. They're doing all sorts of things. As you go out toward New Philadelphia, they seem to be blowing in more out of the northwest. If you head down to Wheeling through New Martinsville and down into Monroe County, they're more out of the southwest. And then if you head up into Washington, Beaver counties, they're more out of the northeast. So they're kind of doing all sorts of things. Speeds right now at about 3 to 7 miles an hour. Now you can see that cloud mass that was over the area. See how it has just evaporated? It's gone, and we're not expecting to see anything like that anytime in the near future. That low-pressure system that plagued the area for the last 4.5 days is still kind of hanging tough along the coast of New England from Boston, Massachusetts, all the way up into the Canadian Maritime provinces. We do have a few clouds up over northern lower Michigan and a little over Lake Erie, but no big deal there. Well, we'll move on to the temperature map. Look how warm it is in the Great Plains. 84 degrees right now in Minot, North Dakota. I used to work up in Wisconsin, and we had a general manager who used to go up into the Canadian prairies every October. Him and a bunch of his buddies would go up there for about a week. And he told me, I remember I asked him about his trip and the weather, and he'd say sometimes he'd go up there and it'd be 85 degrees. Other times it would be 8 inches of snow. So that's kind of the way it works. You can see the cold air is now moving into the west. Right now, Medford, Oregon, only 50 degrees. We have 54 in Salt Lake City, Boise, Idaho, 53, Seattle, 50 in Kalispell. That's where the cold air is going to remain. And so the warm air is moving our way. Except for the northeast and the northern parts of Pennsylvania up into New York into New England. They've got frost and freeze warnings and watches and freeze advisories and frost advisories and freeze warnings and all sorts of stuff like that. Basically, it's going to get very cold around there. We've got winds coming out of the south in the central and northern Great Plains, so we've got wind advisories out there. And then you see the bright white in the higher elevations in parts of Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and into the Sierra Nevada. Some of those areas above 8,000 feet in the Sierra Nevada may be getting somewhere between, I think the Weather Service was estimating 12 to 20 inches of snow. They can keep it. That's fine with me. Well, there's the system moving off the coast. We're also going to keep a weary eye on go over the Caribbean down near Cuba and the Dominican Republic, because we do believe something's going to be coming up along the coast late in the forecast. In fact, we'll show you a predictor in a minute. You can see all the clouds and the moisture out there in the west, and it's just a mess out there, but we're looking real good. Here's our predictor. Here's our forecast. We've got the high pressure, and it's sitting up over, we have a weak bubble of high pressure over West Virginia right now, and then a supporting air mass is going to come in from the north over the next 24 hours, and that's probably the primary reason why they expect cooler temperatures tonight into tomorrow morning into parts of northern Pennsylvania, New York, and New England. You can see there's a low pressure out there to the west of the low out there in the western third of the U.S., almost winter-like, especially in the higher elevations. Here we are Friday afternoon, setting ourselves up for the 7th week of high school football. Not looking too bad. Can't complain about that. We'll keep these things moving on, and there we go into Saturday. Beautiful weather. I'm not sure where the Mountaineers are playing in Morgantown, so yeah, it's looking great. Any problems they have on a football field will not be weather-related. Then you get into Sunday. Steelers. Wow, 4 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, we'll know whether they're 3-2 or not. And then here's the low pressure. This is the thing we're going to be watching. This is going to come up along the coast here, and eventually could hit us with some rain, maybe late Tuesday into Wednesday. But so that'll be kind of like an end of this great stretch of weather that has hit the area. But look at the 7-day forecast. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, most of Tuesday looking just fine. That's 6 days right there for you. And I think most of Tuesday will be good. The clouds will be increasing late in the day, and we could have some showers Tuesday night into Wednesday. We'll put it at that. But there is a possibility we might hit the big 80. 80 degrees. The average high is about 69 or 68 for Sunday, so definitely warmer than average.